All right, today we're going to look at how to find the average rate of change, but we're only going to pay attention to it and concentrate from a table. So, something that might help you is when you see the average rate of change, just think about finding the slope. Sorry. A lot of y'all know slope, and you can remember this, it's our change of our y's over a change of our x's. And remember, change just means subtract. So we're going to subtract our y's with our x's. But when you have a table, which ones do you choose? Especially when it's not linear and it's increasing by the same rate every time. All right, so we're going to look at that and talk about that. And the other thing, though, if it's the rate of change, here's the formula that you're going to see. You're going to see f of b, because remember this is function notation, of f of a. That's saying the same thing as y minus y over b minus a. Okay, so this is the average rate of change. Now, don't get caught up in all that. Your b minus a is just your x column, and your f of b minus f of a is just your f of x column. So remember, if you had a traditional xy, it'd be written this way. So let's look at how to solve this. So given the function defined in the table, find the average rate of change in simplest form, remember that means simplify, of the function over the interval. Now this is where we might get confused. Okay, so we have variable x, so we're going to look at our x's. We want negative 12, so here's our first point we're going to look at, and then we want 5. So here's our second point we're going to look at. The other thing I like to do is label this. This is my A, this is my B. So if that's my A, that means this is f of A, and this one's f of B. That way you can see exactly what to sub in where. Okay, so I'm going to write the formula down. F of B minus f of A over B minus A. So what I'm going to actually do is write my terms right above this so you can see exactly what I'm subbing in. So f of B, I go over here and I find f of B is 0, so I plug in a 0 here, minus f of A. So I go up here and find f of A, which is negative 3. Okay, then I go down to the bottom, B. B is 5. So I plug that in here, minus A, find A, which is negative 12. Remember, it's always subtraction, so minus negative 12. All right, now we're going to do some simplifying. Remember, two negatives make a positive. So we have 0 plus 3, which is 3. And then again, two negatives become a positive. So all what this really says is 5 plus 12, which is 17. Now make sure we simplify. 3 over 17, 3 is a prime number, so we can only divide by 1 and 3, so this is the simplest form. And 17 is a prime number. So again, they don't have any common factors. Alright, so let's look at number 2. Given a function defined in the table, find the average rate of change in simplest form of the function over the interval. So here's the interval we're going to look at. Again, x values, so I want the one that has an x value of 2 and 8. So those are the points I'm going to look at. Now again, I am going to go ahead and label. Here's A, which means here's f of A. Here's B, so here's f of B. And I think that really helps at make sure you keep everything straight. So, and I write this down, I'm going to work it the same way, so you can see exactly where I'm subbing in and why. Okay, match up with my green. F of B. Find my f of B. I get 9. Minus f of A, which is 6. Okay, so f of B is equal to 9 minus f of A, which is 6. Now I'm going to go to the denominator. My B is 8 minus my A, which is 2. Now remember, Since this whole thing is being divided, you have to simplify the numerator first. So I have to do my numerator first, which is 9 minus 6, which is 3. And then I simplify the denominator, which is 8 minus 2, which is 6. Okay, don't start doing any division here. Condense everything down. Okay, order of operations. All right, now we need to look at simplest form. Okay, 3 divided by 6, they both have a common factor of 3. So let's do a little bit of notepad here. We can divide both those out by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 1/2 is my final answer. Now I forgot to address this one and this one. This is just another way of asking the same thing. It's just two different notations. Same thing here and here. It's just two different notations. Remember, f of x is how we write these, is the function notation. So this -12 and this 5 is just our x values. Same thing here, 2 and 8 are just our x values. So it's just a different notation of how to write what interval they're asking for the rate of change. Okay, so actually for this one, I'm going to use this question, just so we understand. So given the table, given the function defined in the table, find the average rate of change in simplest form of the function, so I'm going to jump down here, between f of -12, so that's my x, so I want this one, and f of 15, which is my x, and I want this one. Okay, let's look. Here's A, here's B, so here's f of A, and here's f of B. Okay, now that we have everything labeled, let's go back and let's write our formula. Over B minus A. Now, if you look, I haven't addressed this yet. We have our B's on top of each other and our A's on top of each other. You've got to keep that consistent. Don't start flip-flopping this around. That's a big no-no and you'll get the wrong answer. Okay, stay consistent. B's first, A's second. All right, so let's look. F of B, to find my f of B, I get -7 minus f of A is 3. Okay, B, come over here. B is 15 minus A, which is -12. Remember, put your negatives inside parentheses. Equals, well, we just talked about number 2. Simplify your numerator first. So -7 minus 3, -10 over 2 negatives make a positive. So 15 plus 12 is 27. Okay, let's see. We can simplify. -10 is 2 and 5. And this is an odd number, so we can't divide it by 2. And it's not ending in a 0 or 5, so we can't divide it by 5 as well. So here is our final answer, and we cannot simplify. All right, I hope that was a good review on finding the average rate of change from a table.